Hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we are taking a look at SynthMaster 3. So on the desktop, right? So SynthMaster 3 is just had another, so it's 3.1.1. It's another massive update. Now we are getting SynthMaster 3 on iOS, hopefully later this year. So it's going to be awesome. It really is. Right, let's going to run through. This isn't going to be a super long video. I'm going to start with this initial preset and, excuse me, run through some of the new features. Not all of them, but some of them, but enough to give you the idea of what's been added. So if you want to watch any of my previous videos, you can check them out on the channel. Right, anyway, so first new feature I want to cover is the vintage mode, right? So you'll see vintage on some of these modules now. What we need to do is, I've got this basic wave. What we need to do is right click on here and go to edit voice modifiers. So this takes us into voice modifiers. Now, if I just shift that out of the way a sec, you'll see here it says 16. That's the number of voices that this oscillator is using, right? So 16 voices, and I pressed this 16 times. So let's take this down to say 8 voices, which is more like a analog synth. Let's change digital to analog, and you'll see that we can play our 8 voices like an 8-voice polysynth, but nothing changes. However, right, if we look at this now, we can fine tune these voices. You'll see that there's some of this already done, but we can go in and do it. In fact, let's make it a little bit extreme, okay, just for fun. And then you've got like control of the volume. I'm going to kind of even this out a little bit. Then you also have pan control for those voices. Let's get that a little bit extreme as well. Then you can control the phase and the tone as well, right? So to hear this in effect, what we need to do is bring up the vintage knob, right? So you have vintage control for the filter as well. So for example, if we have look at edit voice modifiers, we can edit the cutoff control here and also the resonance control. You're getting the idea, right? So, but we won't hear anything until we start to bring up our vintage control. So if I bring this up now, let's go and look at the modifiers and the panning. Let's pan some of these voices, extreme sort of thing. So taking the vintage off here, right? So bring the vintage full on, so it's extreme. So it's how a polysynth, an analog polysynth would work, right? So for every different voice that's triggered, you get this new, and of course you can go as extreme as you like, but you don't need, I mean, if it's too much, right, edit voice modifiers again, if it's too much, it's going to sound a bit mad. So, you know, be a bit controlled, and with the panning as well, of course, unless that's what you want. And then you can play with the phase and also the tone as well. And what's really nice, if we do this with the filter, we can open this anywhere, by the way. We can click on the right click on the frequency and go to voice modifiers. Let's bring up our vintage control for the cutoff as well. And so it just gives that extra bit of control over your sounds, you know. If you're going for that kind of really classic vintage thing as well. Okay, changing oscillators has now been changed. Now, you know, you've got 16 layers and each layer can have up to 16 modules, modules being either the oscillator, the filters, stuff like that. Okay. All we need to do to change an oscillator now is we just tap on the oscillator we want to change and you'll get this new dialog open and you'll see you've got basic shapes. So we could go with, and you can highlight, you can, you know, you can, what's the word? Audition them. Let's choose maybe this pulse. Just click on it. It'll change it. We need to adjust the phase for this. Or maybe a triangle. But you can also, from this point, choose different noise types. You can choose waveforms. So and as you can see, there are absolutely loads and loads of them. You can also choose multi-samples, of course. So, for example, you could choose loads of drum stuff. There's, let's see what we got here. All these different samples you can choose from to use in an oscillator. So, and then you can also use single samples. So, for example, okay, brilliant. So, new way to load and look at your samples, your oscillators. It's very, very easy to do that as well. Right, okay. Let's see. Let's just reset this and it's patched to something basic. Let's go to the browser. Loads of different things in the browser now. You have the ability to, I mean, there are so many patches and presets and stuff, right? And you can't delete some of them, like the, you know, the packs and things. But there's so many, you do have the ability, if there's a bunch you really, really don't like, you have the ability to hide them. So look at this. A story begins here. Let's select this preset here. Okay. Brilliant stuff. Or maybe this nice vibrations. But say, for example, this one here, you don't want it. You don't want to see it because it's taken up space in your browser. If you tap on this now, this little eye icon, and you go here, you'll see that this appears in here, which is the hidden ones. And if we go back, it will be gone. It won't be there anymore. Let's hide this ARP, ARIA, DM. Let's select that and then go back and it's gone. It's not there. So you can choose which presets that you see in the browser. Now, obviously, it would take you time to go through all this stuff. So, you know, it's up to you. But yeah, I mean, it's another way of doing it, right? And then to bring them back, obviously, all you need to do is just unhighlight them there and then you're back in. I mean, there's been tons and tons of bug fixes and stuff like that, obviously. So that's another quality of life setting, right? Okay, let's have a look at another super duper new feature. Now, this is extremely cool. This is really, really great. You can, I mean, look, you always had drum patterns and stuff in SynthMaster. Okay, so I'm just going to do this. I'm going to go SynthMaster 3. Okay, so now I'm just looking at presets from SynthMaster 3. I'm going to scroll down here a bit until I come to the DRM drum right now. That's a drum pattern. I'm going to, let me see. To these. Okay, say for instance, we wanted to load this. Okay, so we'll just tap on it and load it. And it'll load it as a drum pattern, right? So if we play a key, playing this C3 or C4 or whatever you want to play, it'll play the drum pattern. If we go to our tab view now, you'll see that this is consistent. You can see all the different layers here, loads and loads of layers. Okay, and if we go to our mix view, you can see all the layers there, and you can see all the effects that have been applied to those layers. Okay, here's where it gets super cool. We go back to our tab view now, go to sequencer, and you'll see that it says drum part. You've got drum kit, drum part, but if it's like a pattern like this, it'll be in drum part. If we tap on this little plus icon, the little magnifying glass icon, you get to the drum sequencer now. And you can see you'll have different patterns. Now you can trigger these patterns via MIDI select as well. So you can have a different pattern on different keys. You can choose the key. At the moment, MIDI select is off. So wherever I press, we'll trigger that pattern. So we go to the next one. We'll see we've got another pattern on this preset. Go in here. And of course, like any drum machine, it fires like this, and you have 16 pages of this and you're only seeing the first. So you've got 32 steps here, but we can change this to say 16 steps, and then I could chuck in a few extra hits here and there, and you can build your own pattern. Okay, and last but not least, and there are other things as well the Balent and Levant have added. I think that's particularly good, but you also can do, let me just show you one of Balent's patterns as well. If we close this, I will go to our browser, and this time I'll just kind of drill down to DRM. Let me just open me what's it here. DRM, enter, and the acoustic kit. So this is one that Balent made. I'm just going to turn the volume down a little bit for you. Okay, let's go back to our tab view. Now we're on sequencer. Let's have a look. Right, so let's switch MIDI select on. So there's 41 patterns. 41 different patterns just in this one preset. You can change out any of the draw. You can change the sums to different sounds if you want to. To do that, all you need to do is close the sequencer and go to actually let's go back all the way to the beginning here. Go to kick, change the kick, change it. Change the snare, do what you like, brilliant. Let's go and look at this. So this is a really cool feature. What gets really cool now is, like, we've got, how many did I say? 40, let me just switch MIDI select off. So okay, so use 46 different patterns. To choose from. If you go to your little gear icon here, and then you can go new pattern. So we're on 48 now, and you can see it's blank. You can start to program your own, obviously, if you want to. Let's see what we've got. So just 2 of those kicks there. If we click on this as well now, we can go load pattern, and these are the factory patterns, and you can see that there are lots and lots and lots. Let's go funky 3. Tons of patterns to choose from. You have velocity control as well. So maybe we could add a few of these in. And you can go nuts, And like I said, you can have up to 32 steps per pattern. Awesome stuff. So there you go, guys. There is a look at some of the real nice new features. The vintage stuff is very, very, very cool, and will allow you to create loads of really realistic analog sound and stuff. Of course, you still have everything else, all the layering, the track view. I've done videos on quite a bit of this stuff so far. So yeah, awesome stuff. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, please strike the like, subscribe to the channel, consider becoming a Patreon or making a donation or something to help support me and Joe here at the Sound Test Room. It's very much appreciated. And yeah, I will see you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. I will, of course, put links in for KV's website so you can go and check out SynthMaster 3. There are always sales going on there of one type or another, so you'll always get some sort of great deal, you know, awesome stuff. There is stuff. Oh, let me just mention, if we choose this, you'll see that the browser now has been highlighted here with this. That's just me auditioning. If you're using an actual keyboard, you know, a computer keyboard, and you've got it to hand, I haven't. You can now use the shift and tab functions to move between the different instruments, and then the up and down arrows to scroll through presets without even touching the mouse. Anyway, awesome. I'll see you guys later. Ta-da.